This track is a typical Cradle track. It starts off blast beats all over the place. It rips your face off. It's got some like really cool, like typical like, heavy metal stuff in there. But this one was specifically written for like more of a synth type effect to it. Instead of going down the typical road of orchestration, you know, we wanted to do something a bit different with this. So Martin came up with the beginning section of the synth that leads straight to the blast beat. We want to do something which is a bit more like, you know, typical Cradle. I mean, because obviously the album is a little bit diverse from what we used to do, or what we've done on the last few albums, but we couldn't go too far away. But this track is just fucking brilliant, I love it. But this track, the way it came out, is more of a classic metal song. You know, it's got a lot of rock influences in it, and you know, and it's got a lot of old school like metal influence in there. It's definitely the more rockier track on the album. And just because I say rock, it doesn't mean to say you have to run away being fucking scared of all that shit. You know, and it's still Cradle, it's still us, but it's a bit more experimental for us. You know, it's got that real classic rock feel to it, but there are sections in there which bring it around, which actually remind you it's still Cradle. But other than that, I don't know. When I wrote it at the time, I had no idea what I was thinking. I just let shit flow out, and if it sounds good, I keep it. That's all I can do. Signing with the Titans, it's another classic Cradle song. That's all I can say, really. You know, it's people that listen to it are not going to be disappointed. All I can say in general, this fucking whole album's like, as a band, we've got the same buzz off this album as we did have right from the very first when we first did Peaceville. It's almost kind of like a 360 round, and like this is the fucking new beginning for us. It really is. It's got like a lot of classic Cradle stuff in there. It's got some like more of experimentation stuff in there, especially on like dance vocals. Some of the guitar work is a little bit more involved than it usually is, you know. But saying that though, a lot of the stuff's been stripped back, and I'm not contradicting myself, but a lot of the stuff has been stripped back so the music can breathe more. But it's I don't know, it's just a fucking Cradle song, and it rocks like fuck, and you'll love it. I distinctly remember one morning I woke up and I had a huge like thrash metal phase. You know, I was listening to Destruction, I was listening to fucking, even I put Agent Steel on, I was listening to all kinds of fucking stuff, you know. And this track, and I was like, yeah, come on, I really want to like it, just a really like a fairly involved like thrash track. And this is what came out, you know. It was good. I just fucked around with a few timings, had a bit more like key changes and stuff in there. Not so much key changes, but like timing changes and stuff, you know, for like 4/4 to 5/4s and all that sort of stuff. And I wanted to like just push the boat out a little bit for the band, so we don't really do that sort of thing really. And yeah, and I remember like for influence for Dan to do vocals was giving him like Testament albums and, like I said, Destruction albums and like all stuff like this, Slayer albums and all that sort of thing. So this is our like our thrash homage, if that's what you want to call it. It's more of a fucking groove experimentation for this track, to be honest. I distinctly remember coming up with like some of the passages for it, and I always said in interviews and stuff I've done before, I've always said, you know, I've never really found music nowadays that send like shivers up my spine and stand the hairs up on the back of my neck. But this track and this whole album do that for me, and for a lot of us in the band. You know, we hit the nail on the head with the groove for this track, put it that way. And like I said, in a whole, this fucking album for us is like Principle Mark II. We're all super fucking excited about it, and everybody that's heard it, including all the press so far, fucking absolutely love it, you know. And we're gonna keep going down this style, but the next one will be a lot more extreme and a lot fucking heavier.